Okay, how's it going, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Okay, so in this episode, I thought I'd briefly try to say something about an important distinction that the Austrian Jewish philosopher Martin Buber makes. So what he basically thinks is that there are two types of attitudes that we can approach the world with, but that too much of one is, well, not a good thing. Now, in my opinion, what he has to say here is as topical as ever, and even a kind of warning that we'd do well to consider. Okay, so let's just get right into it. Okay, so like I said, Buber thinks that there are two basic approaches or attitudes that we can take to life. Or to put it another way, there are two modes of confronting the world. And he has names for them. So he calls one the I, thou attitude. And he calls the other one the I, it attitude. Now, what's important to understand from the outset is that the difference between these two ways of relating to the world isn't determined by the object with which the I relates to, but instead it has everything to do with the way in which the I relates to the object. In other words, it doesn't really matter what's around us. No, it's how we choose to relate to or see things. It's what kind of relationship we want to have with the things around us that really matters. Okay, so let's get a little bit more specific now. Okay, so when we adopt an I-thou attitude towards something, whether it's a tree or an animal or a work of art or a person, what we're doing, Buber says, is that we're seeing it and treating it as, well, as a subject, as something that speaks to us, and so as something that we have a relation of reciprocity with. In other words, we see that thing as, well, as sacred, or as having some intrinsic or autonomous value, as having value independent of our needs and desires. We respect that thing then, and we listen to it, and we celebrate and preserve it. We treat it with a kind of reverence. Okay, well, on the other hand, we can adopt the I-it attitude. So, what's that exactly? Well, it's when we relate to something not as a subject or a person, but as an object. And so as something that's there to be used or dominated or controlled in some way. It's to view the things around you as a mere means to your own ends. So reverence and awe and preservation is replaced by use value and exploitation. Okay, now the thing is that it's not like the I-it approach isn't necessary. I mean, it often is. I mean, unfortunately, the world we live in makes it impossible to live in a way where we see everything in it in an I-thou way. That's to say that at the end of the day, we just have to survive and live in the world. And so because of this, it's just necessary to use and control the things around us. So it's not like the I-it attitude is intrinsically wrong or anything. Okay, but here's the thing. What this attitude or approach to the world does is it ultimately creates a great potential danger for us. I mean, there's no question that it's becoming increasingly more tempting to order our life according to the world of the I-it. And why is this? Well, it's not a surprise. It's because of the comfort and the security and the stability that it seems to give us. Now, apart from whether or not comfort is always a good thing, the real danger here is that this I-it attitude becomes, well, that it becomes imperialistic, that it becomes the only game in town, that in our technological age, it becomes not just one way, but the only way of relating to the world. Now, what are the implications of this? Well, it's that, of course, we treat all of the environment and nature and animals as if they're mere objects to be used and manipulated for our own ends. But that's not all. This dominance of the I-it attitude, the tyranny of the it, as Buber calls it, also changes how it is we see each other. That's to say, we begin to see each other not as a thou, not with reverence, but in a more and more depersonalized and dehumanizing way. We see people in an increasingly impersonal sense as, a number, or as a statistic, or as a resource. In other words, the danger is that the more that we allow for the I-it attitude to condition and to influence our thinking and our relationships, the less human and the less humane we become, both to ourselves and to others. This is why Buber says, whoever lives with the it alone is not human. Bye for now.